is just some of the things we can do. I want to move through this in terms of screening and all that. All right, in terms of counselor screening, just some of the quick questions that we have found to be really helpful. Observe interview behaviors. And I don't know, how many of you actually get to interview directly at this point? Okay. You know, those who are overly confident, you know, not critical, actually confident, not critical, sarcastic, bragging, or boastful. I was actually helping a staff during orientation do some counseling staff interviews. And there was this one staff person who totally challenged me. Like, what are you doing here? What's your credentials? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I was just being pretty nice, right? What did that tell me about this staff person? Aggressive, right? Now, does that mean that this staff person was no good? Well, it means that we have to watch out, because if this person's challenging me without even knowing who I am, what does that mean about how they're going to behave with other staff or other campers? So you want to observe how they respond during their interview, right? I think observing counselor behavior during orientation gives you the best sample of information. How they treat others. Are they inclusive? Are they the one looking for attention? That's really helpful. And if so, for campers, you have to document concerns always. How many of you actually do documentation when you see bullying issues? The more you write down when you have this stuff with your campers, the better. Anything you see, or if you hear from your staff that there are issues, if you have your staff document them, you then have a written record of issues and then how you handle them, that is your best protection against litigation, by the way. Okay, other themes. Experience with children. Discipline methods. Do they show respect to you, right? Again, we get into this later in specifics. And this issue, discipline, if you had an issue with a fellow counselor, how would you handle it? If you actually ask a staff person to tell you this, you will find out as much as you need to know about how they're going to manage conflicts. Because sometimes a staff person who's aggressive doesn't even think to talk it out, right? They just will deal with it on their own terms, okay? Okay, and again, leadership, role modeling, inclusion, and disrespect, critical. Now, let's talk about solutions a little more. My belief is that it's really important that during staff orientation, we kind of share this kind of data with our staff from the get-go, which is that, you know, it's been shown that staff, when they get together, really start doing this gossiping, this, you know, clicking from the beginning. What we found to be really effective is to take this data, and I can make this available. It's kind of out there. I can send you these kind of things. You can post it on your site. If you share this data and you say to your staff, right, listen, this is what we found. And I've done these studies with 2,000 staff people, right? We have a lot of good data on this. And you say, this is what happens first 2 days you guys are together. How are we going to handle this? And you put it in their laps. What do you think begins to happen? Let's play it out, right? If I said to you, okay, here's the data, guys. You guys are going to be staff this summer. We have to deal with this problem. How would you guys deal with that yourselves if you were one big group in one camp?
I think just being more aware of it makes it like turn on a little light bulb. Oh wait, what am I doing?
Well, let's talk about that, right? Being aware is one piece, but is awareness enough for us to stop those behaviors? Right? Because how many of us do gossiping? Right? Come on, we all do. Yeah, right. How many of us point out who does gossiping, right? Okay. So I think what's important is that, and how many of us click? Are clicks by nature problematic? Well, groupings are natural, right? It's okay for us to have our own close friends, but is it okay for us to role model that if we're in a group together, that if you want to join our group, we're like, no way. We shun you when you come over. Is that good staff behavior? Not at all, right? So the idea is that we can have our own groups, but if in camp session, we want our staff to be inclusive and to role model being friendly, respectful, and decent to everyone, right? Because if we can show that we're friendly to staff, even the ones we're not friendly with, in closer ways, what are we role modeling? That we're a team, right? That we get along. It's okay for kids to break up into their own groups, but is it okay for them to be exclusive at camp? No, that's the problem, right?